our dream, as the mayor said, to put together something that's beautiful, something that's classy, in the middle of the inner city, something that we can all come together, we can gather, we can talk about important issues, we can have the food, we can laugh, and we could be entertained. I'm here 7 days a week. If you need anything, yes, I am the vice president of the Board of Education, so if you have any questions as it pertains to that. I'm also a licensed clinical social worker. I have another business in the city of Orange where I support families in our city and their mental and emotional health. Once again, if you ever need anything, I'm here. This is my second home. Please feel free to open the doors and reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jordan. Many of you know about Coffee and Conversations and about putting our public officials on display for questioning by the public. That was a brainchild of our council president. We want to bring her up for a second hour. Council president, councilwoman at large, Adrienne Wooten.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inner City Cafe. I told you it was very nice, very cozy. As the mayor said, I did introduce Coffee Conversations to the city. It was a brainchild of mine, and it was where anybody could come in and ask any question to myself, to the mayor, and if we needed to have people from the city come in, you would have those people come in and get those questions answered as well. Today, I stood with Senator Timberlake on a very important press conference about PSE&G. So if you get the chance to talk to her about it, pull her and talk to her about it. Assembly people, Assemblywoman Carmen Morales and Mike Venezia, I think they did something with stormwater or flooding. And we have flooding if you live in specific areas in the city of Orange Township. So if you want to speak to them about it, pull them. Maybe we just left an open mic. Maybe someone up here can give you a poem or two.
Nominate the mayor.
But as I said over there, it's not anything that I won't do for the city of Orange Township. We had a fantastic open mic with Elijah Brown. We brought an entire new community to the city of Orange Township, Mayor. So glad to have them here. It's getting bigger and better. I think overall there's probably been about 200 people to come to these open mic events. So once again, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Assemblywoman Morales, Assemblywoman Venezia, my friend Senator Timberlake, and all of you that came out tonight. Thank you so much.
So New Jersey has 40 legislative districts. Each district has 1 senator and 2 assembly people. So in the state legislature totally, there's 40 plus 80. That's how much? Very good. 120. 40 in the Senate, 80 in the Assembly. And our senator covers Orange, East Orange, Nutley, Glen Ridge, all these other places. But her professed favorite part of the district is the city of Orange Township. And so she's come here to say hello, to give you a little whiff of the kind of things that she's doing in Trenton. I like her mostly because she is a loud voice. She speaks truth to power. And when we need resources, I call on her, and she delivers. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Brittany N. Timberlake.
Hello, good evening, everyone. It's so good to be here with you all. I wish I could have joined you in poetry, but I'm actually coming from the soccer field. It was the last soccer practice of my little 7-year-old boy, and it was a pizza party, and all the parents got on the field and played. So I don't always dress like this when I'm in my Senate capacity. There was a time in my life where I would have tried to rush home and get dressed and put my suit on in between all that, but somewhere between the second and the third kid that I birthed within a span of 4 years, I gave up perfection. Okay? So I've been in the state Senate now for about 1.5 years, and previously I was an assembly person. Sworn into office while 9 months pregnant and have always been an advocate. I'm an affordable housing advocate that got asked to run for office. In fact, the space that we stand in is an extension of an organization very dear to Orange called HANDS. And HANDS and the Hub and all of these organizations that created these spaces throughout the city, including affordable housing. So in working with organizations like HANDS and things, I was asked to run for office, and I had the person who asked me make one promise to me, and that was that I would always remain true, and that no one would ever ask me not to. That I'm an advocate through and through, but now if you're going to put a pen in my hand to where I can legislate solutions and reverse systemic issues of oppression and poverty, then that's what I'm going to do. That's my poetry. So that's what I've been doing now for the last 10 years. The $15 an hour minimum wage bill, that was one of my first bills. One of my other first bills was the independent investigation in the event someone loses their life during interaction with law enforcement, which only passed a Democratic majority by just one vote. And that was 2 years before the unfortunate death of George Floyd. Also, the strongest environmental justice legislation in the country, to where we're saying that our children deserve to breathe clean air and that companies cannot come into our communities because we're already seeing pollution as it is. So we identify something as overburdened communities. So if corporations want to come in, they have to go through a very strict permitting process that almost always results in a no. So that was one of the strongest bills in the country, championed by many different organizations and advocates. And of course, the Community Wealth Preservation Bill, to make sure that we're no longer leaving the nation in foreclosures and our black and brown wealth is able to stay within the community, and people have an opportunity to save their legacy, save their family home and that wealth. So there's so many other things, because I don't do this for politics, I do this for purpose, I do this for people. I say principles over politics, because of that, we've been able to do some really great things. Right now, one of my major focuses is what's happening with the energy increases. This is something that I've been studying for over 5 years, talking with the Rate Council, talking with the BPU, and understanding how it all works, as well as meeting with the executives of some of the biggest energy companies in the state. During 2020, I actually asked them to do a calculation of how much it would cost for them to do forgiveness for people who were, experiencing hardship because of the pandemic. They came back, calculated the numbers. They told me it would be a drop in the bucket, but they refused to do it. This past October, I met with some of the executives and I said, you know what? There's not a lot of money to go around. There's a lot of subsidy, the LIHEAP programs, all these things that we know our friends go apply at La Casa, and sometimes they have money, sometimes they don't. Well, I think that PSC&G needs to put some money in the pot as well and help offset that cost. They did nothing with it. So now I introduced about 8 to 10 different pieces of legislation that attack the issue at its core. I don't prescribe Tylenol for issues that call for chemotherapy, okay? We're going to attack the issue at its core and regulate these energy companies so that they can go down on these prices. One of the bills is actually to commission a study to see about deprivatizing the energy companies, because what they're doing is they're taking your money, overcharging you for a commodity that is life-sustaining. We needed to eat, we needed to cook, we needed to wash our clothes, to take a warm shower, right? Power our cars. Some people are powering their cars, right? Children to do homework. And they're just jacking up the prices, and then they go to the government and say, oh, well, the constituents, we're going to have to turn them off unless you give us millions and millions of dollars. So naturally, the government goes, okay, well, here, please don't do that, because society was shut down. And then guess what they do? They profit billions of dollars on Wall Street with that taxpayer money that we use to subsidize. So that package of bills addresses all of that. And I'm telling you now, I'm going against some of the biggest corporations in the state of New Jersey, and I need your support and your people power, okay? So that's the wave that I'm on now. And I need everyone to come on the wave with me, all right? So, also in the legislature, there are 2 other members who are in the 34th Legislative District, newer to the district. They've been serving for a year and a half at the state level, and that's Carmen Morales and Mike Venezia. Carmen Morales is an educator. by trade, and Mike Venezia was the former mayor of Bloomfield. I'm not going to take the mayor's shot because I really do enjoy hearing his banter when he introduces people, and I always tell him that I think he missed his calling because he's kind of funny. I don't mean to give him give him an ego or anything, but he's funny. Okay, so Mayor, I'll let you introduce my colleagues, and God bless you all. I'll give each and every single one of you my contact information before you leave.
Hardest working state senator in Trenton, Brittany and Timberland. So there was a change in the legislature, and the Democratic Party said we need to get someone dynamic, someone who knows children, someone who knows families, someone who's been in the trenches, has run an organization, and they took a lady who is bilingual and asked her would she go to Trenton and represent our interests across the board. She happily accepted, has been sacrificing down there for us and making change. Ladies and gentlemen, bring to the stage Assemblywoman Carmen Morales.
Mayor, as of a week and a half, I am now Dr. Carmen Teresa. I'm very humble when it comes to titles. It's not about the title, but that title kicked my butt. And when there is less than 2% of women of color getting their doctoral degree, it is something you need to scream when it does happen. So I'm very proud of it. So, good evening, Orange. It is an honor and a privilege for me to be here before you all. Introducing myself. Some may know me, some who don't, so let me just start from the beginning. I am a Puerto Rican young woman, grew up in the South Ward of Newark in public housing. The first in my family to go to college, the first in my family to really get these advanced degrees and really push my family into building generational wealth. And for me, that was important, and it started with education. I actually did not want to go into teaching, but life and God had other plans for me. So I actually wanted to be a news broadcaster. I went to school in Montclair State to become a news broadcaster. I went for speech communication. But what happened was that I took a law class in Montclair State. I ended up working in a school district teaching children how to, for conflict resolution and training them in peer mediation, which led me into the school system. And I never thought that I was going to go into education, but that was my calling. And as soon as I became a preschool teacher, I went into becoming a kindergarten teacher. I moved up the ladder, became a vice principal, and I was the principal of the high school I graduated from, which is Essex County North Tech High School. Yes, the vocational school was my home, it was my foundation, and I ended up leading that school as their principal. And it was one of the highlights of my life because I was then giving back to a community that gave me so much, which was my foundational start in getting my advanced degrees. So for me, education is important. It is my foundation, it is my background, but it's also a way of uplifting our communities because education is the great equalizer. Without it, we wouldn't be where we are, right, number one, but it is important for our young children to see representation. And that's why when the calling came to my doorstep and they asked me to run for the assembly, I had to say yes. And it wasn't a yes for me. It was a yes for my children. It was a yes to be the role model and the example that all my babies needed to see. I was the first Puerto Rican principal in my district. And when I had families coming to my office, literally in tears because they felt they had someone that connected with them, that was important for me. Now I get to do that in the legislature. Writing policies along with the wonderful Senator Brittany Timberlake and my mate, my partner in the assembly, Mike Venezia, it has been a great honor. Because think about it, there's 9.2 million people in the state of New Jersey, but 120 of us get to write the policies and dictate what these laws are. So for me, having a seat at the table was a great honor. So I represent you all in the state of New Jersey. I will continue to fight for you all. We have a great team here in LD 34 because we've lived these lived experiences that you have. We've lived it as well. We know how hard it is. Our families are working to provide for their family, to build generational wealth, and to ensure that their children have a wonderful education system. That's what we're fighting for in the state of New Jersey. The other thing we're fighting for is affordability. People cannot afford to live in New Jersey anymore because they can't even find housing. Not alone housing, we are having people pay somebody else's rent instead of building their own generational wealth, instead of buying their own home and property. We do have a shortage in homes and in housing. We're going to make sure that the next governor who is in the state of New Jersey knows that it's important to build more housing, not luxury apartments. We're talking about housing. We're talking about putting families into a home that they can pass down to their children. That's what we're talking about, not luxury apartments. We have enough of that in New Jersey. I want to see my family thriving. I want to see you all thriving, and that's what we're fighting for in the state of New Jersey. So thank you so much for giving me this honor and allowing me to speak to you, but also, please vote on June 10th. I'm 1B, and Mike is 2B, and it's important for us to get back into the assembly to continue doing the work that we're doing. Thank you so much.
I do want to point out that our councilman from the East Ward of the City of Orange Township, Kerry Coley, was in the I thought I saw District Leader District Leader Veronica stand up. She's from South Ward, Valley, Thank you. Finally, I do want to introduce our assemblyman who is a former mayor and understands urban issues from Bloomfield, has been a good friend and someone who is relentless to make sure that we continue the fight against things that are happening in Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, I give it to you, Michael Venezia, our assemblyman.
Saying a Bloomfield kid is from Belleville is sacrilegious. It's like saying an Orange kid is from East Orange. And I hate that my mother raised a gentleman because I have to follow these two ladies, and I'm nowhere near as dynamic as them. But it's great to serve in the legislature with them, and it's great to be part of the team in the 34th district. I am a lifelong Bloomfield resident. I am a graduate of the Bloomfield Public Schools. After college, after high school, I went to Monmouth University down in West Long Branch, New Jersey. And then when I graduated, I got a chance to follow my passion of politics and government. And I started working for the Congressman Bill Pascrell, the late Congressman Bill Pascrell. And then I got a chance to work for Senator Frank Lautenberg, who is the longest serving United States Senator in the state's history. And while working for Senator Lautenberg, I got a chance to go for my master's degree at Fairleigh Dickinson University. So I am Jersey through and through, and I'm very proud of that. I was the mayor of Bloomfield for 10 years, and when Bloomfield got redistricted into the new district, which covers Bloomfield, Belleville, Nutley, Glenridge, Orange, and East Orange, I decided to jump at the opportunity to run for the state legislature. It's a great honor. I serve on the Budget and Judiciary Committee. I'm involved in a lot of legislation, a lot of the budget. So right now, we are dealing with the chaos that's coming from Washington, D.C. The big ugly bill, like I like to refer to it, has detrimental effect to the state of New Jersey. And we're just dealing with that right now. And I have sleepless nights because of it. Because right now, as of things stands, if the bill passes the Senate in its current version, New Jersey will lose $3.6 billion, and almost 800,000 of our residents will lose their Medicaid coverage. And 500,000 of that 800,000 are children. Then they took away SNAP benefits, which provides food for our children. Just think about that, why the richest 0.003% gets a $500,000 tax break. They're taking away food for our children. So I am fighting each and every day to make sure that the money stays in the budget, that if we have to tax millionaires here in New Jersey more, if we have to tax corporations more here in New Jersey, absolutely. We are going to make sure we do everything we can that not one person loses healthcare coverage or suffers from any more food insecurity that's already out there. So myself, Carmen, and Brittany, we have your back. We're going to make sure we keep on fighting for the things that matter. We're we work hand in hand with Mayor Warren and Councilwoman Wooten and Councilman Coley to make sure Orange gets its fair due. The mayor has no shame in calling and asking for money from the state, and we have no problem pushing for it and trying to get it and deliver it for him. So I'm proud to be here for you tonight. We're happy to take any questions, and just thank you for being out here on a Friday night. And I stopped over to the poetry thing, and it was absolutely excellent. So whoever put that together, congratulations, because it was awesome. You know, I want to hook you up with the Bluefield mayor, so you can do it in Bluefield as well. But thank you, and we're here for any questions.
You're very good poetry night. Coach Chanel's in the house. We're famous now.